Lisa, I can't believe we're finally here in just 3 months. And I'm literally going to let you do the talking because you've got something amazing to share with us today. And I'm just remembering back to that first interview we had together. So can you tell everybody who is really excited to know, what was the challenge that you were experiencing when you first came into our program?
Absolutely. So, I guess from the very beginning, we all come into the program because we want to heal a prolapse. So I had what was it? A grade 3 rectocele. And I think at the time of coming into your program, I had shifted my cystocele a little bit. I think I was sitting at a grade 1 or 1.5-ish, 2.
Yeah, you did.
And
I'm just thinking about it. Just you did tell me that you'd seen that the specialist. Yeah, you said grade
yeah,
3, 1.5 to 2. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just after the birth of my fourth baby.
Wow.
And yeah,
4 children. I just want everyone to know Lisa has 4 children.
was the intention was to just do what I always did. I actually never think I told you, but I had a small cystocele after I had my third.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Mm.
I was under the belief that I was like, oh yeah, if I get a prolapse, like no problem. Like it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
But then when I got the ones that I got, I really uh, broke my life. More
Yeah.
than my life, I felt like it broke my soul. Like it was really the
Mm.
hardest thing I ever had to go through. So I had always in the past found alternative healing methods to, I
Yeah.
guess, traditional. That's what people know about me. Like I will always
Right.
find the natural way. I will always look for like, well, how can I not take medicine, or how could
Yeah, got
I
it.
holistically? And
Yeah.
so when I was kind of, I guess, told that this was happening,
Yeah.
I immediately did deep diving into the interwebs, which is a very scary, scary, scary place.
Oh, yes. Don't do that.
I, um, while I pulled out a lot that I didn't like,
Mhm.
I found some people that weren't yourselves, but I found some programs that I was like, wow, these people are doing this naturally. I'm
Got
gonna
it.
give it a really hot go.
Yeah.
And they were incredible. And one program was a 12-week program, and it took me in deep dive into hypopressives, and
Fantastic.
which is a part of your
Yeah.
as well. But I deep dived into that, and
Mhm.
they had a lot of information about myofascial release and meditation, and getting into relieving stress. And I
Mhm.
absolutely adored it. But I finished the 12-week program, and that's why my sister still, I believe, was better, because
Okay.
I had done this
Got you.
program. And at the end of it, I guess I was feeling okay. Like I am better,
Mhm.
but I guess the group was all kind of saying, oh yeah, 2 years down the line, or it was like this, and I was like,
Right.
I can't live like this. Like something's missing.
Yeah.
And I started to research more into fascia and
Okay.
fascia adhesions in fascia, and really deep diving. I found the work
Mhm.
of Anna Kroll, and I was reading more about how we were connecting emotion
Yeah.
to blockages in our
Mhm.
fascial system in our body. And
Mhm.
that intrigued me so much. And as many people in our lovely group, we've all experienced a little bit of trauma in our life.
Yeah.
I had experienced trauma, so this sort of fitted in. Like I felt like this fits. I'm
Right.
having some sort of I need to sort my trauma out,
Mhm.
to relieve my body of adhesions, of stuck energy.
Mhm.
And that's when I started to search for answers in that realm.
Mhm.
And I had experienced going to a life coach previously,
Yeah.
and I had gone through the idea, am I going to return to the life coach? Am I going to do this?
Mhm.
Um, then I was in finally here. I was, I guess that story where I was sitting, it was at the middle of the, like
Tell us
almost the
that story. It's
night.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the middle of the night. My experience was crying. I felt so low and so powerless.
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
felt like my whole self was gone, that
Yeah.
the symptoms were so overwhelming. I had a newborn baby that I felt
Yeah.
at the time I couldn't enjoy. Uh,
Mhm.
I couldn't take care of my other children. So
Mm.
evenings alone in the dark was
Oh.
spent crying.
Yeah.
That's where I was. I was sitting there
Yeah.
crying in my bed, scouring Facebook
Mm.
groups, and I found Jenny's YouTube. I found your beautiful YouTube
Yes. Oh my
video.
God. So glad you did.
I clicked on it and I was listening to this beautiful woman who was saying all the things like you were saying,
Mhm.
all the things I was literally feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
And then you were also saying like, hey, I healed. Hey, I did that strong woman. And I was, oh, okay. Who's this person?
Yeah.
Um, and you pulled up your rainbow
The emotional
emotional
scale.
scale,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you were like, let's go through this together. And you did it on prolapse.
Mhm.
And I was sitting there, I was so connected to you, and I went through that scale with you. And I was literally sitting there being, how does this woman know my brain?
Yeah.
Like, she's
Yeah.
in my brain. Like, this
Mhm.
is exactly how I feel. And
Yeah.
as you were rainbow bridging me up
Yeah.
along you with these higher thoughts, and then
Mhm.
we got to contentment and getting into the hopefulness and optimism and going
Yeah.
up and up. And I was coming with you. And
Mm.
I you got all the way up to the top to joy and love, and I was like, I'm there. Like, I haven't felt happiness. And
I
I
love it.
was I was in a state of euphoria. Like, I
Yeah.
hadn't felt relief and
Wow.
joy. Like, this is possible. Like, I can heal myself. I can go back to my passions of running.
Mhm.
I can go back to my passions of being this really athletic
Yeah.
mom. I love just being
Yes.
outdoors with my family.
Yeah.
And you won't find me indoors in front of a TV. You'll find me outside trail running with
Yeah.
my kids on bikes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
faster, like that.
I love it. That's you,
That's
right? Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
the prolapse was, really just stripping that away from
Yeah.
me. And that emotional scale, when I went through that with you,
Yeah.
I was like, that is the emotional connection,
Mhm.
the healing, like the
Yeah.
core of what I was looking for.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
was that wasn't really a part of the other program that I had done. They did an incredible job and they helped me so much.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I love them to bits for it.
Yeah.
Um, but I knew that there was something else missing, and
Yeah.
that was it. And it really lit like this fire of hope
Mm.
inside of me.
Mhm.
Um, And I felt for the first time,
Mhm.
I know I can do this. And
Yes.
that was such a, like, it didn't
I
say,
love it.
like, in the beginning it kind of goes up and down, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like I had this knowing that
Mhm.
I was like, this is my path. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the beginning. On
Oh.
that master class,
Ah. And the
and
rest is history.
the rest is history. Yeah.
Oh, do you know, Lisa, I remember your fire when I interviewed you. I could feel that I'm going to heal this and I'm going to run, but more of that later. I'm going to run
Yeah.
something later. You can tell. That's yours to tell. Oh,
Yeah.
but thank you for sharing that story because that's so powerful. And when I remember reading that emotional scale out, because we've niched in me, I know how people's minds work, women's minds work, right? And I remember reading that emotional scale for that YouTube video, thinking people are listening. People are going to be listening to with me when I really tried to channel that.
Oh,
So great
I
that it
was
worked.
listening.
Yeah. Oh, so here's a big question, but how has working with Duncan and I in the group and Unshakeable You positively impacted you? So maybe start with the physical. Maybe start with that.
Well, it's obvious that physically, I have now healed my rectocele. I've got confirmation from my
Yay.
gynecologist that it's gone.
Yeah. Woo.
And, that's the one that I thought
Yeah,
was, on everyone's lips, like, oh, that's not possible. You need to get
exactly.
surgery to sort that one out.
Yeah.
And, no, you
Yeah.
don't need it's it's
Yeah.
possible. And I still have a slight movement in my bladder, which he
Yeah.
let me know. But in their profession, in his words, he said, look, you've had 4 babies and you're in your
Mm-hmm.
early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect this slight movement after having the vaginal birth. So,
Yeah.
um, look, I'm still going to heal completely, 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 completely.
I
Like
think
that.
anyone
I am
watching
going to
is like, oh,
go. I'm going back better. Like I
yeah,
am.
yeah. I
I'm
know
gonna
you
go
will.
backwards in time.
To even
that
before you were a
that's
teenager, right? Yeah,
yeah, that's the power. If that that's
totally.
happening.
Oh, and I do not doubt it, but I'm sure anyone watching is like a grade 3 rectocele to a no rectocele and then 1.5 to 2 cystocele to a tiny, I'll
Yeah,
take it, right? To a tiny bit,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
let's just also honor that. I mean, incredible, because there is a
yeah,
huge belief that you can't heal those rectoceles. And I know for sure with my prolapse, it's better than it was even before I knew any of this stuff. I know for sure. And I know you'll do that. But yeah,
yeah.
let's honor that amazing win. And tell us a little bit about the gynecologist, because that is a funny story. How did he react
Oh,
when he?
that was a beautiful one. Should I tell like
Yeah,
the whole
tell the story. Yeah, tell the story. Tell it.
Because initially, I guess the first gynecologist appointment that I had
Mhm.
with this man
Yes.
was in it was before I was in the program.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it kind of was almost like the push in the bum to find this
Mhm.
emotional space that I was
Yeah.
looking for,
Yeah.
because it was a really um, unpleasant
Mm.
appointment,
Sure.
that
Yeah.
I pulled basically everything I didn't want to hear out of this person. I pull like you're gonna need surgery, and it looks
Yeah.
not that great, and
Yeah.
don't do anything too
Yeah.
physical right now, like all the things that I didn't want to hear, I got.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I decided that I don't want to see this person again. So when I made my appointment, I requested, please, I don't want to see this person again. I would like to see somebody else.
Got you. Yeah.
And that was organized for me. Because I live in a rural outback Australia. They fly in their specialists, and unfortunately, on my appointment day, it was the same
Of course.
rectal. And because I'd been in the program for then 3 months,
Yes.
My headspace, everything about me had changed.
Sure.
I described myself as a completely different person.
Yeah.
And I had done a lot of work, which you learn in the program when you want to intend to go in to an appointment, say. You can intend on how am I going to feel going into that. I'd done a lot of work before going in, and I was very firm to myself, just like the fire I had coming in. I've worked so hard. I'm not going to allow this man to make me feel any different. And in the end, it was the best. It was like the first full circle experience, what I pulled out of this man. It was so different from the last appointment. I was able to go in and just so confident in myself. No insecurity in knowing. I knew I felt different. I knew I felt good. And the appointment started with a little bit of like, ooh, surgery this, and he just like, nah, no, I don't, no, let's check you first. And I was like,
love it.
Let's check. And it was such a great experience to be examined and to have a specialist kind of say like, oh, like, wow, like what have you been up to?
I love that.
Classic Jenny. It's like, oh, it's all emotional at root. That's what I've been doing. I love that so much now. It's like I'm stealing it. You take
it.
And you know, it was so lovely to kind of see his a little bit of shock, like, oh no, like what are you doing? And I was like, I'm really I'm working on my emotional state. This is how I've done this. And he was like, you're just going to put me out of business then? And I said, yes, I am. And then the most lovely thing, after getting beautiful news from him about how well I look and how he doesn't want to see me anymore, is that we go into a conversation about how he loves marathon running and he wants to do the Bruin Marathon. I'm like, I've done the Bruin Marathon. And then, you know, and I spoke about I was like, wow, I feel really good. I'm going to tell him my dream. I'm like, I'm planning on training my dream before I you know, got all these things, was to run the Margaret River Ultra. And he's like, I want to do that too. And I was like, yes, let's have this dreamy conversation. And he was like, oh, do it. And I'm like, oh, yes, I am.
My goodness.
So, I mean, from my first experience with him, of feeling so like traumatized when I left, feeling very unheard, and just basically told, like, just deal with it. Like, what you're feeling right now, everybody feels like there's, why would you need a pessary? Why would you need anything? It's fine. And I was like, no, I'm really bad. To the contrast of having this light-hearted man, and having a conversation about my favorite thing on earth, running. So, the emotional state of my inner self, I am completely different. I cannot describe how different I am. And it's more than just healing a prolapse. It's healing my my soul. Like I've really touched into like that inner
Yeah.
self, um, which is like the most beautiful thing to ever experience on.
Well, I have to agree with you. So, oh, what a beautiful story. Oh my goodness. So how has, changing your soul, getting to the depths of your soul and becoming a completely different person in 3 months, how has that changed other areas of your life? Because I know it's impacted many areas.
Yes, it's touched every single aspect
Mm,
of every breath of my life.
wow.
And I have searched, as I said before, I've
Mm,
searched since quite a young age, uh,
mm,
through yoga, through meditative breathing, through trauma healing, through
hmm.
massage, through
Yeah.
chanting classes, through I have done a lot, like to
Yeah.
try and um, heal this part of me that I just couldn't access.
Yeah.
And, I'm in my 40s now, and this is this is the first time that I feel like I'm home. I have found me. I have connected to that really, really deep um, center of myself that
Yeah.
was lost from trauma, that was lost from heartache, that was lost
Mm,
from a hurtful, childhood, that, was lost from, hurtful relationships. And
yeah.
it kind of culminated to this prolapse.
Mm, yeah.
Um, like the universe was telling me, like, this is it. Go this way. You've found your
Yeah.
spot now.
Yeah.
And my relationship with myself has been the biggest shift. And that self love, self um, compassion
Yeah.
um, has been huge for me.
Hmm.
And really focusing in on learning how to let go and
Hmm.
learning to love myself for who I
Yeah.
am right now, like right
Wow.
now, in the here and now, and being really comfortable with it to the point where I finally love myself
Oh my
genuinely
God.
for who I am right now.
Hmm.
And that shift in itself,
Hmm.
it overflowed into every aspect of my life,
Yeah.
to my relationship with my children,
Hmm.
to my relationship with my community and my friends,
Yeah.
to my relationship with my husband. That was massive because
Yeah.
4 years ago, we weren't sure if
Yeah.
we were going to go our separate ways. And
Yeah.
coming into this program, that was the biggest hurdle for me. Is I just had a baby. I just went through this massive trauma in myself. And
Hmm.
I felt like I don't want to be with this person anymore. I
Yeah.
I'm I cannot move forward anymore. This
Yeah.
isn't working.
Hmm.
And this program and learning how to let go and learning how to love myself and connect in with myself
Hmm.
uh, saved my marriage. Because
Oh,
now I am falling back in love with this man who I thought um, I really didn't. I I really there must have been a piece of me that obviously wanted to, because
yeah.
it has
Absolutely.
come through.
Hmm.
But to come into a program to, like, let's fix my prolapse, and then get in here and be like, let's never talk about my prolapse. And
Pretty
talk
much.
about everything else under the sun, and then magically my prolapse would go away.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
that was my favorite part. And um like, I had a close
Yeah.
friend who asked me, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I am doing everything but talking about this prolapse. And I'm like, I
So
think
funny.
it's working. Like, I really early on in the program, I had some days where
Yeah.
I remember standing in my kitchen and just doing like, oh my God, I forgot. And
Yeah,
that,
right.
for somebody who knows that bulgy
Yeah.
feeling,
Ugh, the worst.
to all of out of nowhere realize that I didn't think about it for 2 minutes.
Huge.
Oh God, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really didn't work on the prolapses. I really focused and felt through
Yes.
everything out. And oh man, Jenny, it worked. It works. You were just, I like always like, oh, she's so smart. I'm like, oh my God. Like, thank God. I'm like, you did
Oh,
hard work over years and years and years of grabbing everything from everybody who inspired you. And
yeah.
um you you put it in this. It is so easy and it makes so much sense. And when you let go
Yeah.
of the why,
Hmm.
all of a sudden you're like, oh, is
Yeah.
that it?
Yeah. So true.
I'm like, is that okay? All right. I'm
I
like,
could do that, right?
I
Yeah.
can, I can, I can do
Yeah.
that. It's the
Hmm.
releasing of the letting go.
Yeah.
That's the process. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Oh, wow. I haven't got any words. I'm just going to ask you another question, let you keep talking because this is just dreamy. So I'm speechless, or I might start crying. So I'm going to ask another question. So, were there any results? I mean, you've pretty much said it, but were there any results that were surprising to you?
Yeah. I have touched on that a little bit.
Just a
Um,
bit.
just a little bit. But yeah, just to say it again, of the surprise in how deep this affected
Yeah.
every aspect of my life,
Yeah.
um, and how much growth
Hmm.
personally
Yeah.
that I was able to achieve with something that I felt overwhelmed in the beginning, like many.
Mm, of course. Yeah.
But once I kind of just let go and said, I'm just going to do what Jenny tells me to do, it's like, I'm going to let go. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to be like, okay, yep, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And the surprise of how quickly that fell into place for me,
Yeah.
and how much it made so much sense. Like,
Mhm.
um, I really got you. Like, I really was like, no, I understand where she's going with this. Like, this is,
Yeah.
yes. I'm like, this is what I've been looking for my whole
Yes.
life. And now it's in front of me.
Yeah.
And just to have it line up so beautifully.
Hmm.
Like, it's like, I'm not saying it was easy. Like, this was some
Yeah.
of the hardest weeks
It's a
of
bit of
my
work.
life.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
go through these things. Um, oh, but I haven't even talked about the group, the
Hmm.
surprising, oh, the community, Jenny, the
Yeah.
community. I've always struggled to feel safe in
Yes.
friendships.
Yeah. Particularly
Um,
female friendships, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I come into a group of, I think it's like 60 odd people or women now.
Yeah.
And daunting. I was like, oh, what's this gonna
Of
be
course.
like?
Yeah.
And then um I haven't told you this. I remember I always used to speak to my friends and being like, oh, I where's my village? Where's my village of
Wow.
people who understand me? And I speak about
Hmm.
this a lot, feeling like I've grown up in the wrong era, or
Yeah.
I want things to be slower. I want that community. I want that
Hmm.
family feeling.
Yeah.
Probably because I was missing it as a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I can give it a lot to myself now.
Hmm.
But this group that Duncan and yourself have brought together and pulled in and brought these women together,
Hmm.
um, they feel like my extended family. Not
Wow.
just like
Yeah.
family in the way that people say, oh, family. I'm like, no, these are my soul sisters,
Yeah.
where they have been through what I've been through, all of them.
Hmm. Yeah.
And we're all a little bit similar,
Yes.
in that we're good at focusing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we can focus either way. And I guess
Yes.
we've come into this program because we've been focusing hard on that lower
Uh,
end, and we
yeah.
need guidance to take our superpower and shift it over to the other side.
Absolutely.
I've never felt so connected to
Hmm.
so many women. I've never felt so safe. I've
Hmm.
never felt that sense of community that
Hmm.
I was looking for. And when I was, preparing and thinking about um,
Yeah.
on and doing this interview, that popped into my head.
Um,
I was like, oh my God, my community, I have it. I have
you've got
it.
it. Yeah,
I've got it.
exactly.
It's
Yep.
here.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
I that was such a surprise. I did not expect that.
Hmm.
That was such a beautiful
Yeah.
outcome that was
Yeah.
not expected. Um, and also having the opportunity to speak so closely with you on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah.
It's you're in this beautiful group of women who
Hmm.
are learning, and we're all at different stages, and
Hmm.
we bounce off of each other, we give each other advice, we teach each other, and
Yeah.
having that support all the time, and then being able to link that all in and speak to you on a weekly basis. I just feel
Yeah.
so loved and supported like I never have before.
Mm.
And it is incredible to get that out of a program. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like I have a family.
Mm. You
And it's
do.
really it's really I do have a
Yeah,
family.
you do.
And it's so lovely, and that was completely unexpected. So that's so
Yeah.
beautiful you created that.
Tell us about this race.
And
Everyone's going to want to hear this because I love working with people who have a really cool vision, something they want to do, after they've healed. So tell us what you're going to go and do and when you're going to do it.
so I think it was like last week I signed up for my Margaret River Ultra Series race. And I've gone for the 42.
Yeah,
So
nice.
42
Yeah,
kilometer trail race in the beautiful, beautiful land down in Margaret River in Western Australia.
gorgeous.
And it's a very special place for me. I've been visiting this
Mm,
this space and the forests down there.
yeah, they're unbelievable. Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a deep connection to them,
Mm,
and trail running and running out in nature has been
Yeah.
something I've been doing for probably around 6 or 7 years now. So it's
Okay.
not something that is new to me. Like I have
Yeah.
ran sort of races many
Yes.
times
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but it is something that I had wanted to do after the birth of my fourth baby. I thought, oh, that's
Right.
you know,
Yes.
he would have been just past a year, and I thought, yeah, that's going to
Right.
be great. When the whole prolapse thing happened, I thought, well,
Yeah, sure.
I'm never going to run again.
Mm.
My joy, my freedom,
Mm.
my love of my where my body can take me, it was all kind of stripped away. So when
Mm.
I jumped into this program and I thought, I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
And I got that out of that appointment and I said, oh, I'm booking, I'm booking it.
Oh, I was with you on that. From that first
Yeah,
interview, I thought she's gonna do that.
yeah,
Lisa's
yeah.
gonna
And
do
it
that.
just, timing, we speak in a group
Yeah.
about timing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And, I had that appointment, I got that great response, and it just happened to be the week that the race opened
What? Oh,
to
I didn't realize.
did. It was, and I didn't realize it either till
Oh
as
my
soon as I got out
goodness.
of the appointment, I rang my friend and I pulled her into trail running. So she's like one of my
Right.
trail running buddies now.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I told her and she said, well, get onto it. It just opened. And I was like, and these things sell
What?
out because these are, I didn't even tell you this. These things
I'm
sell
finding
out.
this out for the
So,
first time when everyone's watching.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you gotta like jump onto it. And it'd already been open for 4 days. And I thought, yep, happening. Book,
Wow.
book,
Yeah, do it.
don't take my money. uh, and it felt so right and it felt so good. And when now I trust myself that when something feels good,
Yep.
means
Go for it.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because I feel really safe and secure and trusting my own instincts now of knowing
Yeah.
that that is
Yeah.
in my reality and in my space, and I don't have to fear um anymore. Like this race, even though it's over I think it's 1,000 meter elevation, and there's
Wow.
soft sand and there's rocks and
Yeah.
there's you're running
Yeah.
through forests, and it's
Yeah.
not going to damage me whatsoever because
No.
it's just I am going to be
Yep.
so high training
Totally.
for this race and running this race. It is just I am so excited.
I'm
And
so
I'm gonna
excited
do
for
it.
you.
It's gonna be so good.
Ah, I'm just thinking of everybody watching this right now who thought that their dreams were over, whatever that was, lifting, running, whatever sport, that they were just over. And I know they're going to be sitting here right now thinking, yes, somebody's done
Yeah,
it.
it's
Because
not over. No,
never, not even close. And it's going to be
not. And
better
I
because
was
now you
there.
love yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
I
there.
can't
Yeah.
I can't just help. I can't wait for you to actually start posting in the Facebook group and say, hang on a minute. Now I operate mostly from the top of the emotional scale and I actually love myself. My running now feels like this because
Yeah.
that's going to be a thing. I can't wait to
Yes.
see those posts because it's different. Yeah,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And you know what? I'm being so it's so good to feel in myself as well that I
Yeah,
am not gonna overdo it already. Like I can already feel the
exactly.
difference in
Right,
how I have approached something like this before
right.
to how I'm actually approaching it now.
Yeah,
Because before, I think I would have really said, no, this is where I have to be at this date. And I have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to run this far then. And I have to be able
Yeah.
to do this and that. And I am not like that at all. I'm like, I'm gonna
Wow.
follow my intuition. I'm gonna listen to my body. I think I should start here doing, the floor Pilates and really getting
Yeah.
my, cross training in. I've,
Yeah.
planned a lot of sport where I'm gonna swim first, I'm gonna bike first. And
Love it.
I actually have real running planned
Hmm.
until I'm emotionally aligned with it.
Love it.
So
Love
I've
it.
got some work to do,
Yes.
but I know it's good.
Yeah.
Like I
You'll be
know,
ready.
like I know, like I know.
Yes.
It's good, and I can accomplishment, and I don't have to be, there's no worry and, oh, will I have time to get in the right shape or whatever. I'm like, of course I will,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm going to be aligned. It's
Yeah.
like this whole stress is taken away.
Yeah.
It's so freeing and so
Yeah.
beautiful and light. Um,
I
yeah,
love it.
so this is gonna be
Wow.
a fun journey. I'm already like in the funness of the preparation, which I love just as much.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Wow. Amazing. Lisa, thank you. What would you tell somebody, my final question, who is kind of on the fence about joining Unshakeable You, a little bit nervous, maybe even nervous to even get on an initial interview, a discovery call? What would you tell them?
That it's okay to be a bit nervous,
Yeah.
that that's completely normal and valid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that nervousness, if you have found Jenny and you're feeling pulled and you're feeling curious,
Mm-hmm.
that curiosity and that is yourself saying like, hey, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not know and you might not understand it and it might sound a little bit out there. um but if you just go slowly and
Yeah.
just take that risk,
Mm-hmm.
your entire life, all your desires, like, are gonna come to you with time. And that's the most incredible thing. Like, you're gonna heal your prolapses, like, that's happening
That's
if
a
you
given.
come to the program.
Yeah.
That's happening. But
Yeah.
you'll get you'll get so much more. And it's okay if it feels a bit scary.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Thank you for being part of this huge movement that is changing this belief on the planet that this can't be healed. So I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. You're the most incredible member. And yeah, I just don't have any words. I hope you can feel my emotion because I don't really have any words to explain how appreciative of you I am and how much I love you.
And I feel the exact same way. Um, you and Duncan have changed my life, and I cannot describe the feeling of, I think it's relief
Mm,
that I can set down my guarded, you know,
yeah.
self, that she can
Hmm.
now go have a rest for
Yeah.
all of eternity.
Yeah, she's earned the rest.
I can now take over, and just to have that, and for you guys to have just been so warm and so generous and always so kind and so understanding all the time, no matter how many times we come in there asking same questions, crying, or who knows what we're doing. It's all safe. It's all okay.
Mhm.
And um it's just it's the best thing. You two
Mm.
are the best thing that ever happened to me in my
Mm.
entire